Boobe Yusuf Duale is an historian and former guerrilla fighter himself. He has vivid memories of the war and of Somaliland's subsequent break with Somalia.
Somaliland has gained its independence on 26 June 1960. And it unified with Somalia, which was an Italian colony, on 1st July 1960. And on 21st October 1969, there was a military coup led by Siad Barre. Siad Barre and his regime, a tribal dictatorial regime, military regime, has been ruling Somalia from 1969 to 1991. So we have been fighting a popular guerrilla war against the forces of Siad Barre. And we have succeeded to liberate the country, at least the northern parts.
One of Africa's self-styled big men, Siad Barre, ruled with an iron fist, propping up his own ethnic group at the expense of other ones. In 1988, he ordered the Somali Air Force to bombard Hargeisa. It was a defining moment in the civil war and a defining moment in the history of Somaliland. Between 50 and 80,000 people, mostly members of the Asak tribe, were killed.
There were the planes. The planes were flying from the airport of Hargeisa and bombarding the town. I was just fighting 30, 40 kilometers from here, and every week there was the plane coming to us and bombarding us. And it was bombarding the people who were going out of Hargeisa to the other side of the town. It was called Gedebile. They were settled there. Our wounded were there. All the children and the women were there. It used to fly from here and bombard them.
And in the night time we would sleep under the trees. You'd see where we used to sleep.
After his clinic was destroyed, Dr. Ismail and his colleague, Dr. Akhmed Askar, helped run the field hospital near Gedebile. They've agreed to show us the site. It'll be their first visit since the war ended.
We were a number of doctors and a number of health staff, and every tree here was like a department, hospital department, like a ward. And there were, at least in every ward, I can estimate 60, 40 people. And we were working 24 hours on them, all day, trying to medicate, trying to care, give them what we have, what was possible. Most of the people who were brought here were civilians. You can see the mother, the father, all in the same tree, the elder, the child, everybody. I was looking in the nighttime, and you can see a fire under every tree, glittering all over this place. You cannot imagine these people who have settled here.
These are all graves. These are all graveyards. And most of them are very shallow.
Come here, come here. And this was a place where we used to keep the supplies, the only we had. At least some injections, some antibiotics. We were keeping especially these injections for special patients. I even used it to collect them in my pocket and go to every tree and give the patient himself. So then he can have and see that he is getting that medication. Behind this, we have the tent for operations.
We'll call 4 or 5 people to hold the patient. You cut the skin quickly and then muscles, and then you have, when you go to the bone, then you have to use the saw. And all that you have to do at least 10 minutes. But what happened near Hargeisa when people were trying to flee, and they were just caught and shot on the spot, when the people were bombarded indiscriminately, the whole city.
Because your own air force going to bombard your own city, that's something you cannot swallow, you cannot take.
We had to receive wounded people in the evening because no one would transport them in the daytime because of the risk of the raid. And actually it happened, several buses were hit by the airplane while they were trying to evacuate wounded people.
In the village, we meet some veterans of the war who now work at the local sanitation plant. They're eager to share their stories.
imise jir baad markaa
markaa waxaan afriitimid
maxaad u gashay markaasina
islaamta waxaan u galay wixii meesha yaalay markaan nafar maray yaa
ayaad u gashay
halkii ay taagneed haddii qalinka waxay ku dhacday maalintii dambeysay dibaaxaysi faqash ayay ku dhacday daktarka Hargeisa la dhigay dhaawada faqashta la dhigay meenu fiicay marka shan cisho bilaa dawa ahayd ay qurantay ay markii dambe daktarka Cabdikariim agad biyaan soo dhaamiyay u qalay maadaama nabad lagu joogo oo gumaysi jiray oo ku faraxsanay tan doonayna taas u
The sad thing is that we were not in the news, we were not in the media, we were not on any spotlight. No one was talking about us. You remember Darfur now? We were in the same situation as the people in Darfur now.
By 1991, the civil war had engulfed southern Somalia. Suddenly, the north was free to separate and Somaliland was reborn. What people discovered as they returned home and began rebuilding was that a stronger sense of a Somalilander identity had evolved from their shared experiences of displacement and repression.
And still they are angry now when people call them they are part of Somalia. Because they think that's also they are being insulted. Because they are saying that people are not showing any empathy, any kindness to them when they want them to join again to those group of people who really did this to them.